¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome to another episode of LatiNation Football Club. I'm here with my good friend, El Chiva Mayor, Julio Ramos. And today, my friends, we have a banger of a show. That's right. We're going to talk MLS Final. We're going to talk las semifinales de Liga MX. La liguilla está en fuego. That is right. We're also going to talk about the World 7 tournament, this great new format of female football that is taking over this next weekend, and so much more. Nik Z, straight from Bogota, Colombia, already doing field work for the World Cup, and a special interview with no other than Juan Duque, an up-and-coming Colombian artist. You're going to love it. But let's get started, my friend Chiva.
Que comience la fiesta.
No están los Pumas, tampoco las Chivas en la liguilla, pero está la felicidad. We are happy because Tigres continues to be here on LatiNation for more games, and they did the unthinkable. Right away, I want to acknowledge the 5-0 trashing that they did over Xolos. We didn't thought that it was possible. For a moment, after the 3-0 on the ida, I thought that they wouldn't make it.
I'm going to be like Nick. I call it. You know, I said here that El Volcán iba a pesar. You know, their fans made a huge difference for Tigres, and the Wonder Kid couldn't do anything against the whole stadium and the fact that Tigres really wants to win this championship. You can tell they want to be here in LatiNation playing the final.
Oh, the final. And we are very close, my friends, very, very close to have a final norteña. That's right, because Monterrey is doing its own thing. They beat Toluca 1-0 en la ida de la semifinal. Chiva, Toluca seemed to be waiting to play at the Bombonera on the second half of this series, but Monterrey played an intelligent game. They had the opportunity to go up, maybe up to 3-0, but at the end, a 1-0 was all they got from their own stadium.
I mean, is 1-0 enough? We don't know. We're going to find out. But Monterrey looking pretty good, very confident. At the beginning of this liguilla, they're looking kind of shaky. But I think the leadership of Sergio Ramos in the back is making a huge difference for a team like Monterrey. They have really good players like Tecatito Corona. And yeah, they're playing the champion, Toluca, one of the best teams right now, Liga MX. But it's not going to be easy for Toluca, because one thing that I've seen from Monterrey and every year is that when they go to La Capital or Toluca, a la altura, they play way, way better football than what they do at home.
Yeah, I mean, Monterrey is a team that knows a little bit about Toluca. They share a former coach, Mohamed. Mohamed is a coach that has done probably the best work in Liga MX. He has been champion with multiple teams. So the odds are with him to win this series. Now, Monterrey, they did with America. Right at the very end, Bertarame came when America was already looking at them playing Chivas in the final, in the semifinal. Boom, Bertarame comes. What a header, masterclass, and Monterrey is trying to get it to the final. Do you feel like they have what it takes?
I mean, after seeing Toluca struggling with one of our other teams here in LatiNation, Juarez, Toluca draw 0-0 in the quarterfinals. They struggle at home versus a team like Juarez that, you know, their goalkeeper was la figura of this game. I do see Monterrey and Tigres advancing to the final. We'll talk about Tigres later, but I do see Monterrey very convinced that they won this final. They have the Spaniard coach making a difference for the team. You know, they've been spending all this money. I think they're the team that spends the most money in Liga MX right now, and they have to. Sergio Ramos don't wants to leave La Liga MX without a championship.
Like we saw Toluca struggle with Juarez to score against a team that, you know, entered the liguilla through the back door almost. Now, let's talk about Tigres. Tigres has a very, very strong possibility to make it to the final. And if they do, I think they're the clear favorite, not only because they're the team here at home, and they will have the semifinal here this Saturday, my friends, at 7 p.m. Tigres versus Cruz Azul. Watch it on the LatiNation app, on our linear channel, the broadcast LATV channel, and Chiva. We saw Bruneta exit the game earlier this Wednesday. He wasn't playing at the level that we used to. He missed a clear opportunity early in the game. But we saw other players in Tigres that they pick up the slack beautifully. The one that highlights the day, Correa. Correa, world champion with Argentina, playing at a great level with Atlético de Madrid, is now about to become champion of Liga MX. There's 3 games away from it. Do you think Tigres has what it takes to give us more games here?
I mean, you have, of course, you mentioned Ángel Correa, campeón del mundo, but you also have Diego Lainez. Diego Lainez,
El Factor.
El Factor has been playing on fire in this liguilla. During the season, he wasn't El Factor that much, but now in liguilla, you see when he gets the ball, I mean, the plays that he makes, the goals start from play from Diego Lainez. I mean, you got Nahuel Guzman in the back, a goalkeeper with a lot of experience that knows the timing, when he has to drop on the floor, when he has to do all these things that he does. I do see Tigres advancing to the final. And again, I'm going to say it again, they're going to play at home. This game versus Cruz Azul is going to be at home. It's going to make a huge difference. The fans, la hinchada siempre va a marcar la diferencia en un equipo como Tigres, and I think they're going to advance to the final for all these reasons.
But that's all we have right now for Liga MX. We have to move on because it's time to talk about the final, my friends, the final of MLS. And for that, we have to bring the only person that is truly happy for this encounter between Vancouver and Miami, and that is Alex Suavecito Crespo, coming in very happy, my friend. Yes, you told us. You told us.
Sencillito,
so.
sencillito.
Sencillo.
Who is in this final? That's my question.
Miami and Vancouver.
Miami. Messi. I've been saying it from the get-go, guys. Miami in the final and against Vancouver.
I gotta say, if we go and look at the tape, my friends, I called it at the beginning of the season, both here in LatiNation Football Club and on my segments live on SportsGrid. I said, if you're a betting person, go and put your money behind Vancouver because they might be the surprise of this season, and they, to my heart's pain, because there's no black and gold in the final. Chiva, I know you share the pain. Vancouver is gonna defeat Miami.
Now,
this upcoming weekend. Chiva, por favor.
I mean, I see.
Pull out the receipts.
Alex agrandadito is Vancouver. We play Vancouver. Don't forget that Vancouver eliminate Miami from the CONCACAF Champions semifinal, a cup that they were really looking
with
forward.
With an in-shaped Messi.
Exactly. So it's not going to be an easy final.
Without Mueller.
There you go. So, it's not going to be that easy, Alex Crespo.
Well, I don't know. All I have to say is that Allende is in shape. And if you have Allende, Messi, Busquets, Alba, all these players in really good shape, in this final, I think Miami is going to destroy. I mean, Allende, 8 goals and an assist in 5 games, in these last 5 games. I mean, that is insane for a young 26-year-old player. And, I mean, if we put his flair with Messi's flair together,
And with that, I also want to just do a quick recap of how this team made it to the final, because it tells us a lot of what we can expect. Let's throw this graphic on camera right now. Check this out, guys. Miami put 5 goals to 1 over New York City Football Club, whereas Vancouver dismantled San Diego at home. Chiva, let's go first with Miami. What is your overall look and predictions for this team and what they have done to be here?
I mean, on a serious note, when it comes to Miami, the fact that Busquets and Jordi Alba are playing what is going to be their last game in their career is going to make a huge difference. You see Busquets in these playoffs for MLS and Jordi Alba giving everything they have left in their tank. And I think that's going to make a huge difference. I mean, in the year next to Messi and players like Allende, I see that they're hungry to win this MLS Cup. But let's not forget that in front they have another team that brought Mueller, that is a mentor for all these players that beat San Diego in San Diego. It's not going to be an easy task, but I do see Miami taking the cup because of these 2 reasons: Jordi Alba and Busquets wanting to retire with a championship under their belt.
So, final predictions. I say Vancouver will be the next champion. The cup stays in the West because the West is the best.
That's right.
And that's what I say.
It's going to be a very upsetting weekend for Marce. I'm going to go 3-1 Miami. It's in the books.
2-1 Miami.
Ooh.
There you have it, my friends. And with that, it's time to go on a break here on LatiNation Football Club. We'll be right back. And when we do, we're going to go all the way to Colombia. That is right, because Nik Z, it's already doing the field work for the World Cup. Don't go anywhere. This is LatiNation Football Club.
They have a bigger talent pool potentially, and they're going to give them anything it takes to potentially get this team back to a national championship. And if you want to set a legacy, you could maybe have one good year at Ole Miss and maybe potentially, 5 or 6 9-3 campaigns, but you're not going to make the playoff each and every season, or at least that's the mindset. You have a better path at LSU or a bigger school.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
You're a 1 o'clock guy again, huh?
Well, I didn't know I have to appease you.
What do you mean appease me? I'm trying to get a read on you.
Well, that's it. I don't want you to get a read. I said.
Okay.
What are you? You're on me like flies on rice.
Well, I once watched you destroy an NFL team's season because you zagged so hard in the Best Bet segment.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Everyone has just been lying about this whole thing. Okay. Of the top 15 teams in the country, there are 4 total losses to unranked football teams. Miami has half of them.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Florida was thought to get Lane Kiffin, but they go and turn to Tulane head coach John Summerall. This is a solid hire, coach.
He's a tough-minded coach. I thought he would be a perfect fit at Auburn, just knowing he's from Alabama. But I think Florida got an outstanding coach. He will be a tough nut that knows how to win football games.
The Bowden Blitz, only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome back. This is LatiNation Football Club, and I am with Camila Ortiz and Alex Crespo. And it is time, my friends, to talk about one of our favorite tournaments. We don't get to cover it as often as much partidazo. Alex Crespo, please break it down for us.
I mean, que vimos jogo bonito in this final. We saw 2 Brazilian teams go at it, Palmeiras versus Flamengo, ending in a 1-0 game. Beautiful goal from Danilo from the corner, and that really set the tone for the rest of the match because both of these teams were really struggling to get the goal in the back of the net. In Peru, so both of these teams were not playing with their home advantage, and we saw some history be made. This is the first team in Brazilian history to get 4 Copa Libertadores wins. I mean, this is insane.
It was crazy, and it just sets the stage for the Brazilian domination of South American soccer. They showed it on the Club World Cup. They showed it in Copa Libertadores. Brazil at the club level is the pride of the country. Not so much on the national team. We'll get there in the upcoming weeks. But it also sets the stage for another tournament, right? Something that might affect everyone, even in Mexico, because the Copa Intercontinental is a mess of games that pulls teams from everywhere and brings them in very, very weird moments because Cruz Azul, as you very well know, will be playing here on LatiNation this weekend. And right after that, they have to jump on a plane to go where, Camila? Break it down for us. What is this crazy thing called Copa Intercontinental?
Inter in English, Intercontinental Cup. This is one of my favorite tournaments. I think it's so exciting to bring teams from all over the world, clubs that really have to earn their spot, right? Like you said, a super exciting game this weekend. Cruz Azul from Liga MX, as we know, and Flamengo coming off a win. I mean, this is going to be 2 very exciting teams going against each other.
That is right, Alex. What is your prediction? Do you think the power of the Brazilian team will outdo the champions of CONCACAF, who also proven to be the best team in the region, not Miami? But tell me, do you think the Flamengo has what it takes to beat Cruz Azul?
I mean, this is definitely bringing up that topic of, is Liga MX better than South American League teams? We don't know, but this is going to be that game to set the standard. And I think Flamengo has what it takes to, beat Cruz Azul. It might be, contrary to belief, but I think Flamengo are going to do that Brazilian flair.
Yo soy Liga MX all the way, my friends. Thank you for the info, my friends. But we have to go now all the way to South America with no other than Nik Z. That is right. Our own Nik Z is already in Bogota doing field work to see what are the teams, how the teams are preparing for the World Cup. Let's take a look at this package.
What's up, guys? Nik Z here. Just woke up in beautiful Bogota, Colombia. That's right. Check out this lovely view over here. Woo! Look at the mountains. Woo! El Capital. As beautiful as it is, though, my head feels like it's going to absolutely explode. El tercero capital más alto del mundo after La Paz and Quito. So, your boy's not doing okay. So we gotta fix that. Come with me to get a coffee, because this is Colombia at the end of the day. And we gotta go to my friend's house as well. We gotta run some errands. All while talking about the Colombian national team, a powerhouse heading into the 2026 World Cup. So let's do it. Just gotta put some pantalones on, and we're good to go.
Is it a bad idea to drink coffee if you have an altitude sickness-related headache?
Generally, it's actually not a great idea to have coffee if you're dealing with altitude sickness or an altitude-related headache.
All right, so Colombia head into this World Cup as one of the teams to watch. They missed the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, and now they're booking what will be their 7th appearance in the tournament. So far, La Tricolor have put together this remarkable run, at one point going 28 games unbeaten. This is a really strong Colombian squad going into this World Cup.
Gracias.
I think what makes Colombia unique right now as a team is their blend of generations. This is clearly Luis Diaz's team. The Bayern Munich winger is like the hottest left-sided attacker in the world right now. But then next to him, you got James Rodriguez pulling the strings, the brain behind the operation.
Plus, hard-running support from players like Sean Arias, who plays at Wolverhampton. Out wide, you got Jefferson Lerma, who's in the midfield. He's great too.
Recent friendlies have only fed into this optimism. Colombia swept aside teams like Mexico 4-0. They beat Australia 3-0. James and Diaz, by the way, both on the score sheet in both of those matches. Dude, should I get another coffee? There's another place right here, and that was the best coffee I've ever had. I think I'm gonna get another one. When in Rome, I don't know. Let's get zapped. Do you think they'll make me an iced Americano? Or do you think they're like Italians where they'll slap me in the face for even asking such a question? Let's see. Hola. Buenas tardes. All right, 2 coffees down back to back. That's 4 shots of espresso in the system. So I was walking down the street and I saw the Botero Museum, the artist Botero, and it said entrance is gratis. So I just kind of wandered on in, and look what I see, a cafe. Should we go? 3x3? Me da un espresso doble, por favor.
Okay. ¿Algo más?
Gracias.
Con gusto.
3x3, mijo. All right, now let's hit my friend's house. Told him we were coming over. All right, guys, we've gone up the hill just a tad bit, and here we are at Mr. Simón Bolívar's former residence. Small house, but the garden just keeps going and going. It's beautiful. You know, historically, Colombia is a country that's already made a name for itself on the World Cup stage, most memorably, at least in my lifetime, in 2014, when James won the Golden Boot. Colombia reached the quarterfinals for the first time. This time around, they might not go in as an absolute favorite like Argentina or Spain or something, but Colombia has what it takes to make another deep World Cup run. In my few days here in Bogota, I've seen class, I've seen beauty, I've seen art. I think that reflects the culture and the people and the country. The question is, does the national team have the ability to reflect that onto the pitch? I think they do. I hope they do. We'll have to see. From Simón Bolívar's backyard, that's it from me, Nik Z, for LatiNation FC. I gotta go, because I'm having a low-key caffeine-induced panic attack. Peace.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. Let's get to the quarterbacks for next year. Mac Jones will be an NFL starter to begin next season. He's looked great. Brock Purdy has not. Buy or sell?
You look through the NFL here. Miami, Jets, Cleveland, Raiders. I'm just going
Arizona,
by division.
Minnesota.
Arizona, definitely. Minnesota, definitely.
Raiders. You mentioned the Raiders.
I mentioned
Can
the Raiders.
you just say buy and move on, please, to the next question? Because
It's a
you know
buy.
it's a buy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a buy. It is a buy. He's right. He'll definitely be starting for somebody there, right? He has had a nice season. He'll start for somebody. Jets.
Buy. Gardner Minshew was a starter in the NFL year after year for the next guy in waiting. I mean, this keeps happening. You think that Mac Jones is not going to be a buy? All right. Daniel Jones will finish the season as a better fantasy quarterback than Justin Herbert of the Chargers. Both players, George, have slipped quite a bit in November here.
Broken fibula. No, he's not going to finish better than Justin Herbert. I don't know if he's going to finish the season. You got to think if they were playing better, maybe he'd be sitting out a week or two. But they've been struggling, trying to win that division. Big games now against Houston, that they're sort of pushing him in there. No. I know the offensive line for the Chargers is horrific. I get it, but no, I'll say Justin plays a little bit better.
I'm buying it. I don't like what I see with the Chargers at all. Can't run, can't throw, can't play defense. Feels like Harbaugh's getting a little
Broken
desperate.
fibula.
It's not a tibula. It's a fibula. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, fine.
I don't know that to be true. Okay. It just sounded good.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back here on LatiNation Football Club, my friends. And I'm here with Chiva Mayor, Camila Ortiz. And there's no LatiNation Football Club sin Fútbol de Mujeres. And that is why, my friends, we're going to talk about a brand new tournament that it's called the Sevens World Tournament. It is a crazy 7-on-7 tournament that includes some of the very top teams in America, from Uruguay, Colombia, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. All of the countries represented. Camila, please break down to us what is this tournament, why the 7-on-7 format, and what can we expect?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be such an exciting tournament. I mean, 7v7 is not something we see a lot in professional football. This is the top of the top. First, second, third place only in their standings. So it is going to be lots of goal, hell of a games. And I love, again, we're going to see different types of soccer. We're going to see different flair from all over the Americas, and it's going to be really exciting.
7-on-7 is a very fast type of soccer. Chiva, I know you're very familiar with arena soccer, with other types of football que la gente no ve. Break down how difficult and how demanding 7-on-7 soccer is.
First of all, you're going to see a lot of goals, which is very exciting. That's for sure. Now, let's see how these teams adapt. They're coming from an 11-11 to a 7-7. It's not an easy task, but it's definitely going to bring more fire to this tournament. I think that seeing women playing 7 versus 7, the pace that it takes, there's a lot of substitutions. You blink and there's 5 different players on the field, and it's gonna be lovely. I love to see that teams from America, you know, Nacional de Uruguay. We have teams from the United States.
ACFC.
No.
No, and it's okay. We want ACFC to be there because it's nuestro equipo de acá de Los Ángeles.
Sí, but I was just very hopeful about it. But we got San Diego.
We have San Diego. Yes. We have Kansas City, who I think this is going to be a massive tournament for them because the finals at NWSL championships did not go their way. This is a big opportunity to show, hey, we're still top dogs, and $5 million reward.
$5 million. 5 millones, my friends. Eso es bastante dinero. Yo iba a decir yo una grosería. That's a lot of money, Chiva. Yes. You can change the route of your franchise. You can pay for the full contract of a major star. How is it different when players are playing over a weekend and the goal is so close and the goal has $5 million on the top of it?
I mean, it has to inspire you more, right? But the good part about this is that now we're seeing that women football is getting money. It's making money. Before, the complaint was that they were not getting paid enough. Or like the men, and now you see a $5 million tournament on a weekend. I mean, come on, they all want it, and it's like you said, it can change a franchise. And it's, again, I'm super happy for football because at the end of the day, football is for everybody, and to see that women are getting what they deserve, money-wise, it's just very good.
Like you said, and I second that, this is a great way, creative way to make up for that salary discrepancy that still exists between the women and the men. Camila, now tell me, what are the main games that we're going to have this weekend that we really have to tune in?
It's so hard because when I tell you guys, every single game is going to be a banger. These are top teams. But, okay, let's think Friday. First game that I am going to definitely watch, Club América versus Nacional from Uruguay. This is top dogs. América was in third place in Liga MX. Nacional was in first place in Uruguay. Both are going to want it, especially América coming from that loss against Tigres in the finals.
That's right. And not only that, Nacional is an Uruguayan team, and Uruguayan teams, they are famous for being hard, tough teams to beat. They play, they have a history of producing a crazy amount of good players for such a small country, one of the smaller countries in the continent, yet they have some of the best players. What other games should we be looking for?
Saturday, Flamengo, Femenil. Again, Flamengo, the male team, have just won Copa Libertadores. So if Flamengo Femenil gets to win again, that would be massive for Brazil versus Toronto. This is first place versus first place. Again, another amazing game.
And give us the opportunity to really compare leagues, right? Like we see the top teams of every league, and we actually get a big picture of the global state of soccer in the women's side. Finally, what is the last game that you recommend?
Last game, it has to be Kansas City versus Tigres. Again, these are two teams that were dominating in their league. I mean, leaps and bounds beyond every other team. Tigres, of course, we know, got the win in the finals for Liga MX. Kansas City falling short against Gotham. So again, this is going to be Tigres' opportunity to show we're the top dog, and Kansas City to hopefully bounce back from a disappointing NWSL championship.
That's right, Camila. This game, Kansas City versus Tigres, could be considered the final of the continent. These are two of the most stacked teams with the best rosters, and they have either been champions or are champions of their leagues. Chiva, who do you got winning this game?
Mexicano con Tigres.
Tigres, las Amazonas. What about you, Camila?
Yep, me too. I think realistically, who's been dominating, who's been giving the best performances, it's got to be Tigres.
Without a doubt, Kansas City failed this season. They didn't make it to the conference final. They lost to Gotham, surprisingly, on the playoffs. And Tigres, they are the current champions of Liga MX Femenil, as you saw the final here on LatiNation. But we have to call it a day. The end of the game is here, and we have to say goodbye. But before that, we want to thank you, the MVP of LatiNation Football Club, for choosing to spend this time with us. We'll be here next week con lo mejor de fútbol, futbol, soccer, whatever you call it. We have it here on LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
Nobody bats 300 anymore because the value of hitting a fly ball, which could eventually become a home run, is so much more valuable. It's when the shift in the NBA went from 2-pointers to 3-pointers. Well, if I can make 40% of my threes, I'm just going to jack threes all over the place. There's more value in that. Well, there's more value in just like ripping driver most of the time.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Ole Miss got left at the altar, and Ole Miss decided, I'm either going to let her continue to embarrass me, or I'm going to have some self-respect and kick her ass out the door and lock it behind her and not let her back in. And that, for me, is the right thing to do. Lane Kiffin had the right to leave. Yep. He chose to leave. I wish you the best of luck. Not really.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Take a look at it and say, all right, well, can they do this? But the one thing I know, every year I love the SEC championship game. Like this year, we're going to get a pretty good treat in the Big Ten because you have Indiana and Ohio State. But every single year, it's never like I don't have to watch that, because the reason I bring that up is there's a game that's going to be on 8 o'clock that probably should just be played at midnight or 1 a.m. The ACC championship game. Like, things are not the same.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's stunning to think that, right? And I had the over on the win total, or going into the year with the Patriots, was 8.5. I thought they could win 10 games. They've already won 10 games. And that is a stunning turnaround, to go from worst to first here. And they're not the only team that could do it. The Jaguars could do it too. They are right on that precipice here if they handle their business against the Titans the next couple weeks and, at least split between the Indianapolis Colts those two games.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.